I need to ask you a question. It's a big step for me and it's very personal, so I hope it's all good. Do you want to go on a motorbike ride with me?
That is so cool. I love it. Yeah, it rocks. I love to combine 360 cameras with drones. Insta360 One X. That should not be an in-depth review about it. I just want to share my thoughts with you from the perspective of a travel filmmaker, YouTuber or vlogger, however you call it. So I tested it for about 3 weeks now. Insta360 hit me up before and asked me if I want to test it, so they sent it to me for free. I'm not paid to do that, but I got the Insta360 for free. Yeah, and I tested it here in North Thailand. We were driving a bit around in the mountains with a motorbike and also a bit farther with a car, as you could see in the intro. And I have like a lot of things actually that I like about this camera, but also some things that I don't like about it. So I would say let's start with things that I don't like about it. So there's actually only 2 major things that I really don't like about it. And the first thing is that it doesn't really have a protection case like for the lenses. There is an underwater case. So I would actually, from experience, suggest you to get the underwater case, even if you don't want to dive with it or go in the water in general. Because what happened to me pretty quick was that I dropped the camera. I actually swung it above my head to get some cool shots, or try to get some cool shots. And while doing that, the screw got loose a bit and it dropped. So I got some small scratches on the lens. Didn't really affect the image quality. At least I couldn't see it in the footage when I edited the video. But of course, it's not nice when that happens. So I would say if you have a camera like that, you're a bit more adventurous with that, and that's why I would say that you should definitely want to get a protection case. Like even if you just travel and you don't do like weird stuff with it, but I would just put it on the bank here, then it could already cause some scratches. So I really think you should get some protection for it, and this is something that I don't like about this camera. And the second thing that I don't like about it is actually the video quality. But this is a huge but. Don't stop here. The video quality is only not that good when you publish your videos in 4K, what I do. Like all of my videos are in 4K, but actually like 1080p is totally fine for most people. And if you use this camera for publishing in 1080p, then also the quality that you get here is totally fine. Like with quality, I especially mean the pixels. It's 5.7K resolution, which sounds pretty good, but the problem is that you, in most cases, don't use the full 5.7K, because full 5.7K is for like 360 and all axes. And this is actually not an angle that you would usually view in a video. Like usually you cut one angle out there, maybe 90, 120 degrees or something like that. And then you of course waste a lot of pixels there. So you end up having maybe only a 1080p resolution, but upscaling it then to 4K. And especially with a lower bitrate that you get from a small camera like that, then you can already see that the quality is just not there. It just doesn't look as sharp, and the colors don't come out as good as with your other 4K footage from other cameras. Just definitely not really something that Insta360 can really do much about it, because the technology right now is just not advanced enough to come up with much higher resolutions. Like actually the resolution and bitrate that I would like to have for a camera like that would be maybe 10 or 12K and at least 500 better, like 800 mbits or something like that. So very high, and definitely too high for such a small camera. So you need to consider that is actually criticism on a very high level, because I would say right now putting all of those features in a small camera like that wouldn't be possible. And if it's bigger, then you wouldn't have the flexibility that you have with this camera. And this is actually one thing that I like about the Insta360 One X. It is very small, it is very flexible, you can put it everywhere. Actually it's flatter than a GoPro, so you can easily put it into your bag, and yeah, that makes it very flexible. You can just bring it everywhere. And talking about flexibility, you're not just flexible with that camera regarding that you can put it everywhere, but also simply because it's a 360 camera, you're very flexible with the footage in post-production. Like you've probably seen the very first part of the intro where I sat on the sofa and talked with my girlfriend, and there I just put the camera in the middle and I could adjust the angle later in post, and that is so good. Also then later in the intro you saw all the like tiny planet shots and so on. Like they look very cool. I absolutely love them, especially because it's not that you only have this tiny planet, but then you can always add some like zoom transitions. Like you start with a tiny planet and then it zooms more in, that you have another angle of the like shot that you got there. This is really cool. You're very flexible in post-production with that. And yeah, that's definitely something that, at least in this form factor right now, no other camera gives you. And because you're flexible like that, it actually makes it very easy for you to capture not just certain angles, but to also use it for storytelling. Because as you could see in the very first part of the intro, like just putting the camera between you and another person is a completely different style of getting a shot of a conversation and tell the story of the conversation later. It's actually, you probably saw that when the iPhone 11 came out in the Apple keynote, that they showed that with what is this app called, Filmic Pro, that you can use both lenses, like the front and the back lens, to shot a movie or something similar to a movie. And when two people talk to each other, you directly capture both people without setting up two cameras. And that's actually exactly the same. You actually have two cameras here on both sides. And instead of just making hard cuts between those two people in the final video, you can actually change the angle of the camera, like animate it, and that's really cool. Also, what I did pretty early in the interview is we had this like dinner there, and I just put the camera in the middle of those dinner plate that we had there, and it just captured everything, like how she was eating, how I was eating, and I could also like just look down to the food. So this is really cool to capture such angles, and I would say that especially for travel vloggers, it makes it a lot easier to capture what's going on around them. And yeah, I mean, that's at the end what you want to do as a travel vlogger, right? You want to tell stories, you want to show the people what you do at a certain place, and a camera like that makes it pretty easy for you, because you don't really have to look at the display or something anymore, because you just hold the camera up, but on a tripod of course, and then it captures everything around you, and you can look later in post what you want to do with it. It's an airplane coming now. Let's wait a little bit. And the next thing that I absolutely enjoyed about this camera was to put it on or under my drone. I have the Mavic 2 Pro here, and there is this set for the Mavic 2. You can also do it for the Mavic Air, I think. There are like different sets for different kinds of drones. And you get, like in the set, you get one mount for on top of the drone, and then it sits in place there. It's very tight, it's no problem at all, it won't fall down. Yeah, and then you can fly, and instead of just having the like usual view that you get from your drone's camera, you have a very different perspective. And of course you can also adjust the angle later in post again, which I really enjoyed. And like this is just for on top. I wouldn't use on top too much, because then you always have the drone under it, and you usually want to see the stuff that's under the drone. So you don't only want to film the sky, right? And that's why that mount here comes in quite handy. So you just put this mount like that under the drone, and then you can simply mount the Insta360 One X here. And that's great, like that gives really cool footage, especially if you, let's say you do some drone tutorials or something like that, and this is great because it actually films the drone how it is in the air, and that's like a very unique perspective. So I absolutely enjoyed the drone mount. It's a lot of fun. And I would actually in general that the complete camera is just a lot of fun. Like doesn't matter what we did there, like I also have this like 3-meter tripod here. It's like it normally it folds like that. It's already pretty long, but you can easily bring it everywhere, and then it extends to I think 3 meters or so. So woo! Yeah, that's the longest selfie stick I saw. And just by using stuff like that with the Insta360, this is just so much fun. You get angles there that you couldn't capture before, and they actually have a very nice app for iOS and I think also Android. I use iPhone, so I don't know anything about Android here, but I would wonder if not. The app is actually very easy to use, so You can just directly review the footage from the camera on your phone. You can cut it there, you can adjust the angles, you can even animate the angles, and that's really cool because you can then instantly share it as an Instagram story or as some videos that you want to post anywhere. And the shots are generally pretty cool. Like everyone that I showed the shots of this camera when I was around with friends or I met some other people, they were like all the time like, wow, what is that? It looks so cool. So it's really good to like capture some footage that no one has ever seen before. So the question, of course, is should you buy the Insta360 One X or not? I would say it really depends. It's like with every camera, like there's not the one camera that fits everyone. If you are a travel video creator that cares mostly about story and some unique perspectives, bring the viewer into the scene, into the place where you are, then this is a good camera. If you care more about cinematic style videos, then it's probably not the best camera to go for. But what I would also say regarding like cinematic travel videos on YouTube usually have cool transitions. And as you could see in the intro, just because you can animate the footage so much because of this 360, you can actually insert a lot of transitions and animations there, what at the end also let it look pretty cool. So you can also make it work in some perspectives for more cinematic videos, but I wouldn't get it as a like primary camera there that I use most of the time or anything like that. So if you think the Insta360 One X could be a good camera for you to add to your travel videos, then I actually have a good message for you, because if you watch the video right now in the week that it got published, then there is the Black Friday deal from Insta360 where you can get the Insta360 One X and accessories for up to 40% off. You find the link to the deal in the description below of the video. If you buy through this link, then you also support the channel, so I get a small commission from it, but you don't pay anything more, you actually pay a lot less than usual. Thank you really much for watching this video, hope you liked it, and if you want to have more tips about travel videos and how to use cameras in the future, then don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell notifications button, and see you next week.